Alright, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is of course HD StarCraft, and I'm here for another Heart of the Swarm broadcast. And down in the bottom left hand corner, we're going to be looking once again at the red Zerg player, and his name is Root.Catz. Very interesting player. We've already seen a great showing from him in the last Zerg versus Protoss that I casted. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, go ahead and do yourselves a favor and check it out because it was really cool. His opponent now is going to be the blue Terran player at the top right hand corner, and his name is SquidGunz. And I don't know who this is. I actually tried to look him up on SC2 ranks but couldn't find his name, so I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he is a High Masters and probably Grandmasters player actually to be matching up against Catz here. But this should be interesting. A Terran versus Zerg now, which will switch it up from the Zerg versus Protoss that we watched earlier. And, you know, both players were kind of in the last game talking smack about the Terran race a little bit, saying, hey, they're a little OP now. Their upgrades share across ground and air. They're the land, sea, air army now. The armory should just be renamed to the land, sea, air building. But the one thing to note here is because this is from the prior patch, not from the latest patch where we did have some minor tweaks, the Caduceus reactor is still available right away from the tech lab from the starport, doesn't require a fusion core. That, I think, along with the infestor and the change to the fungal growth projectile is the only differences here, and I feel like it's minute enough to go ahead and cast this game. Plus, you know, it's Catz. How often do you get to cast a game of Catz? He's totally fun to watch. So here we are, Terran versus Zerg, and the map is going to be on Daybreak. Overlord is starting to make their way across the map right now. Will we see a proxy hatch? That's like the first question you've got to ask yourselves when you're casting a game with Root.Catz, because he's so innovative when you watch him play. Sometimes, I played a few games against him actually, and one time he actually beat me. It's one of his strategies too. After he did this, I was like, what was that? Are you doing this just because I'm not as good as you? But what he did was he pulled 4 drones in the beginning of the game, sent them over to my base, I was Terran at the time, and completely harassed my front barracks, harassed my ability to get a quick expansion down. And afterwards I was like, dude, come on man, you can't do that against me. That's too cheesy. And he's like, no, I actually do this a lot in tournaments and stuff, and you know, I do see him do it sometimes. He does pull his drones early on in the game, but it doesn't look like he'll be reverting to that strategy today. I think he's got something else planned. We'll see what it is. He does have a spawning pool about to finish. Overlord just checking the front door and is like, don't want to deal with any Marines, I'm out of here. So he's going over to the rocks. He's going to go ahead and park himself up there for now and play it safe. Bunker is coming up right now from SquidGunz. And he has a command center actually inside the main base, going for a pretty quick expansion here, but interestingly not throwing the CC down the ramp, so he's playing a little bit more conservatively. Usually when I see Terran players make an in-base command center, well, when they go for a natural expansion, I feel like on this map you can build it on the low ground because it's such a big map. You don't have to worry about early aggression, and once a bunker comes up, you're pretty much secured. But SquidGunz is going to build it inside the main base and just play it a little bit more safe. So he'll lose a little bit of time when it's flying over, but it's nothing too serious at all. He does have a double refinery backup inside the main base, and we should start seeing some tech labs coming out or factory starport, depending which direction the Terran player wants to go. They really do have a myriad of possibilities right now, and I'm very curious to see what Catz is going to go for. How is he going to stop the mech, which is so potent right now? Of course, with the newest patch, it might not be as good anymore because Widow Mines also got affected. They don't do 160 damage to the target anymore. They do 125. But regardless, I still feel like mech and bio both are very good compositions. We'll see how or which way each of these two strategies play out here, and how Catz is equipped to deal with it. He does see the command center coming down there. Very nice vision scouting, actually. You'll note he sent the Overlord in as the command center was coming down. Was that a mule that was colored in red? The pod that came down, one of them was red. I was like, what the hell was that? I thought maybe like for a second there that Catz was Zerg and he decided to drop one of his mules down, but no, that didn't make any sense. He is Zerg. He's not Terran, so he is Zerg. In-base command center number 3 coming out for SquidGunz, as he does have a factory now landed on the reactor, and he is going to try to go ahead and make some, I would imagine, Hellions coming out of this factory, which is totally fine. He might even try to go for some Widow Mines, but for now it does look like Hellions are going to be the first item on the menu. And back inside the main base of Catz, actually doesn't have the lair at the main, but rather at the natural. that is a kind of a preference thing. I do see some Zergs deciding to get the lair at the natural rather than the main. I feel like at the natural, if you lose your natural to some type of harass, you're absolutely done. But the kind of two-edged sword about that, the other hand, on the other side, is because it's a lair, it's a little bit harder to kill. So there it is. And of course, it is revealed a little bit easier by Hellions and whatnot. But what Zerg doesn't make a lair, you know, in StarCraft 2? It would be just blasphemy not to go for a lair. You'd be going all in on one base if that was the case. Meanwhile, SquidGunz is adding on additional factories, and it looks like he is going to take to the mech strategy here. Might go for, you know, the new Thors with their ability to hit stronger air units now with the high impact payload. They're no longer limited only to being effective against Mutalisks and whatnot. He might also go for just tanks and Widow Mines. I've seen that work out pretty well, but for now he's making Hellions. He's going to go ahead and try to flamethrower this hatchery. Actually taking a couple of burn damage there, a little bit of burn damage, but the Queens are coming down and they'll be able to easily repair any lost health. And of course deflect these Hellions for some time, as the Hellions are now going to say, well, screw that, we're out of here, we're going to go and try to run around into the natural, but really the wall here should be okay. Catz needs to be careful, he needs to put a queen on the ramp, and he's bringing all of his queens down right now, so oh my god, the drones! Oh no! The drones all stacking up there. I don't know why Catz did that. He is going to lose a lot more workers than he should have. I think I almost feel, oh god, these drones are all stacked up. Thankfully there's only one Hellion left now, not a couple of Hellions. But I feel like their Catz lost more drones than he needed to. He did end up killing all the Hellions, which is good, but he lost a lot of workers, and he ended up revealing his infestation pit and his roach warren. So at this point the Terran player can then say, well, okay, you're not going Mutalisks obviously, and that's great. That works good for me because I'm going mech and I'm gonna have tanks, I'm gonna have Hellions on the map. Tanks are exceptionally good against, well, they're not exceptionally good, but they do that bonus damage against roaches, and they're pretty good against infestors as well. But the one thing to counter mech, actually, if you do go roaches, is to get burrow and tunneling claws. That is one way to circumvent mech, get underground, and pop up underneath the siege tanks. It's actually really, really good. But then, of course, you do see Terrans out incorporating Widow Mines, and that's also a good way to stop off burrowed roaches and keep them at bay. So we'll see what happens here, but we do have a round of upgrades coming from the Tech Labs. Blue Flame, as well as Siege Mode. One Overseer going to fly in, and it will see those upgrades coming around. And really, nobody really gets the Drilling Claws upgrade. I have, as of yet, haven't seen it yet. Maybe it's because it's not all colorful and nice to look at. I don't know what the deal is with that, but no Zerg would come in here and say, oh, you're getting the Drilling Claws upgrade. No, they would see Double Factory with the Tech Labs churning out, and they would say, okay, you're getting Blue Flame and you're getting Siege Mode. So Catz will now have time to adequately prepare for what he scouted. He is continuing to make infestors. I will say one thing, man, he is one of the best Zerg players when it comes to utilizing infestors. Outside of Korea, really, it's hard to find any Zerg player as good as him. So I'm very, very curious to see here how he utilizes the new infestors, because of course they are a little different now. Oh my god, hold that thought. Normal Hate Flame Hellions now converted to Blue Flame, just roasted up an infestor, and now going for drones. They could go Comstat and see the rest of these drones. Oh my goodness, devastating blow here to the worker count for Catz, and now he's got to try to get all these infestors down so he can kind of mitigate and balance a little bit. Finally gets rid of all the Blue Flame Hellions, but he loses 27 workers, and the units lost tab now not favoring the Zerg player. And also on top of that, when you lose drones, there is also that other factor you have to consider, the fact that you're losing money over time that you would have made with those workers had they stayed alive. So that was another great play by SquidGunz, who takes the supply lead 106 over 89. Changeling dies almost immediately. Overseer is just continuing to park over here, but I feel like that was a great play by the Terran player SquidGunz, and he's gonna need every great play available to him, because Catz, he has a whole bag of tricks when it comes to very interesting and innovative strategies. So we'll see what happens here, but Catz is coming around the backside here with 5 burrowed infestors. But the missile turrets are up now, and the missile turrets do provide detection. So those infestors, while they're watching in from the outside, there's no way for them to actually get up close and personal and shoot out any infested Terrans at all. They are forced to stay back. And so very good coverage by SquidGunz. You know, the missile turret's kind of playing two roles here. Hey, if you switch to Mutalisks, I'm ready. And if you go Burrowed Roaches or Burrowed Infestors, I am also ready as well. And that's very, very, very good by SquidGunz. He covers all bases. We do have Vipers coming out right now, or as Catz likes to call them, the Yankers. So they are making their way out on the field. And Hydralisks are coming out as well. I have seen Zerg players utilize Roach Hydra very effectively in the late game. I've seen Idra do it. I've seen my cousin Fuh do it, who, curiously enough, is about to win the CSL $40,000. Talk about a lot of money right there. But yeah, you know, I've seen Roaches and Hydras very effectively used in this meta game now in Zerg vs Terran. Do hold that thought though, because Infestors were scouted out by a Comsat. What a great Comsat that was by SquidGunz. Now, better reaction by Catz because he gets a fungal and infested Terrans out on the field, but will he be able to get out of harm's way before those Hellions hunt them down? This is like watching Predator versus Prey, man. Those infestors are trying to squirm their way out of there, and it looks like SquidGunz will not continue the pursuit. He will give up the hunt for now, but that was a really good Comsat. I don't know how he realized that, hey, they're right there. That was really, really good vision, very good awareness by the Terran player, just showing that yes, he is a top level Terran, but how is he going to deal with this very interesting composition of Roach, Hydra, Viper? That is what is coming out on the field right now for Catz, and he is about to have 3-3 as well, or excuse me, 3-2, and that's a pretty good round of upgrades there for his army. Of course, the Terran does have 2-2 as well, but no signs of the third upgrade are coming on the way. We do have more starports coming. Well, I was gonna say, that is right under the vision of the Overseers, and Catz knows now. I mean, if he looks with this Overseer, which he hasn't moved for the last, I don't know, 2 minutes or so, but if he does look here, he will see, hey, there's a lot of starports coming up. And with starports on the way, you know, your first thought, oh my god, he's going you know, battle cruisers or banshees, but that's not actually the case now in Terran vs Zerg, because the upgrades, like I said before, the armory is considered a land, sea, and air building now. It encompasses everything, so really they could just be making Vikings out of these starports. But with 3 starports on the way, all with reactors, I don't know, guys, this is interesting. Maybe he's gonna go for Medivacs and Vikings. I mean, Vikings obviously would be the first thought here, but maybe he'll make some Medivacs too with the speed boost ability to try to mobilize his mech army and go for some drop play. I'm not entirely sure, but he's making triple reactor now. What is he going to produce? No, just Vikings. Okay, so just Vikings for now, just to counter the Vipers. But I think what he's thinking here is Catz is going to be going Broodlord Infestor, but that's not actually the case. You know, you look at the vision of SquidGunz, and he's really blind in the dark. He doesn't see all that much. He needs to drop the Comsat at the enemy Zerg army and realize, hey man, Vikings, I don't know if they're the best unit, because Hydras are on the field. There is a Comsat coming down, but it is not being used to scout the enemy composition. And SquidGunz under the assumption here that he's going to be fighting, I feel like he's going to be fighting not battle cruisers, but Broodlords. And I feel like that assumption might end up costing him. On the other side, though, look at the vision of Catz. My god, he has creeped up the entire map. There is almost nothing that he doesn't see. And now he's coming through the middle of the map with his Hydra Viper army. He's even making a Nidus Swarm right now as well. So very soon the shenanigans could begin. A lot of command centers being built up north, and the reason why he's building them up here is because he can't build them anywhere else. He's running out of building space with so much creep coming from every direction. Oh my goodness, this is incredible. And Catz now with a large Hydra army. Note both players have a massive bank as well. The Hydras are clumping up in this ramp, which makes them easy for the Sea Shanks to pick up, and then the Vipers yank them in. Now bringing in the Thors and the Vikings as well. Beautiful plays here from Catz. The Thors, the long-range units, the Terran excels at being at a range, but the Viper completely negates that. And that's why the Vikings are being introduced now into the field to try to get rid of these Vipers. Look at how low HP they are. They're so close to dying. The Ghosts can take them out, but the Ghosts get picked off by the Hydralisks. And now the Thors are trying to come down to SCV's got to get out of there and repair that Thor. These Hydras are actually in a bad spot with so many forces being able to surround them at any point in time, but the Hydras are pretty effective against Thors, man. Thor's even converting to high impact payload that does not change their ground attack. And these Hydralisks are going to be able to do a good amount of damage here. quite a bit. 27 to 20 workers now that have been lost. The Terran player down to 65 workers, has to evacuate the natural, actually ends up losing it. A Nidus Worm coming up on the left-hand side, so all these command centers are exposed as well. And the Hydra threat still hasn't been dealt with from SquidGunz, because if he brings back all these tanks to combat these Hydras, he leaves his front door exposed. He has to leave some tanks at the front in order to prevent a wave of reinforcements. So that's what he's thinking right now. But what about the Hydras that are coming out of this Nidus Worm and are able to take out this expansion and these command centers as well? Is he going to convert these into planetary fortresses to help defend? No, he's not. He's making them into orbital commands. More SCVs are dropping, though, as we do have a transition into Brute Lords and Corruptors coming from the Zerg player. So you know what, all those Vikings that are in the air right now, there's actually only 5, but there are 5 on the way. That actually might work out pretty well for SquidGunz, the fact that he invested so much infrastructure into starports and reactors. Now, what will these Hydralisks do? It looks like they are going to evacuate. Meanwhile, the Hydras at the front were picked off. I would have loved to see Catz make a Nidus Worm back here as well while he still had vision, but unfortunately, I guess he didn't really think about that. He could have had a two-pronged reinforcement attack at any moment in time, but unfortunately did not think to do that. And now it's going to go ahead and bring the command center down to the bottom and replace it. But this is an interesting matchup because now it's Hydra, Viper, and basically a transition into Broodlord Corruptor against mass mech, tanks, Thors, and Vikings. And the Hydra Viper ended up working pretty well. All you got to do is just bring the tanks in, negate the range, bring the Thors in, completely expose them to the army, the brood of Hydras you have on the ground. And then what does the Terran do? And now with Broodlords in conjunction as well, I feel like Catz is going to look pretty good here. He is trying to go around the backhand side once again with these Hydralisks, doing a pretty good job, killing off 39 workers so far, and exploiting the fact that he's got the high ground, the ledge over these SCVs, and he ends up killing a bunch of them. Now going to go for the refinery as well. Oh my god, SquidGunz needs to lift off a building and provide the planetary fortress range and get +1 range on the Bix cannon. That might actually help him defend against these annoying Hydras. Meanwhile, though, SquidGunz says, screw it, I'm moving out. But I don't think he realizes the bank he's fighting against. The Root.Catz has 7,500, 2,500. That's no joke, guys. You could start a trust fund with that. Here comes the Hydras, the Vipers, and the Infestors yanking in the core units and then dropping the bundle down as well, so the Vikings cannot leave. Now the Siege Tanks are sieging up. That's going to be a lot of Siege Tank firepower these Hydras have to blow through, but then the Vipers dropping down. The blinding clouds the tanks cannot see until they are in melee range, and in melee range, Siege Tanks are absolutely worthless. So these tanks are going down, and it looks like Catz is going to clean up totally with ease. Now transitioning into Ultras, he's got Evolve Enduring Locust as well, so maybe he's going to transition into his funny build, the Swarm Host build, but he's also got Ultras on the way, so who knows what's going to happen. Now remember, the Ultras don't have Burrow Charge anymore, but they do have the ability to absolutely molest everything in sight, so that's something you got to keep in mind. As now, what is he doing? He's making proxy hatcheries in the middle of the map, so that's how confident he feels. Triple hatch at the front door, baby. And what is SquidGunz going to do about that? Now, you know, if the bank of Catz wasn't absurdly high right now, I would say, hey, SquidGunz still has a decent amount of money. Not that much gas, but he still has a decent army at least. Might be able to make a hold, but you know, the army from Catz can be replenished like that. Looking at the larva right now, he's got 71 larvae. And so, at any moment in time, he can just select all 71 and make a bunch of units. And now this doesn't hurt. This doesn't hurt either. Just move in with everything. He isn't in the best position. Actually, the hatcheries are not helping him out at all, forcing the units to funnel through. And Catz is actually going to end up losing a lot more than he should have here. Tanks and Thors not too bad against Ultras. And Vikings now landing down to provide assistance, but no, too many Hydras in the background. All of them with additional movement speed off creeps so they can maneuver out of the way and get up the ramp very quickly, and they take out the remainder of the Terran army. Now SquidGunz is only down to 113 supply, and he's going to be fighting off 1,000,000 Zerglings. Oh my god, look at the mini-map. You'll see all these Zerglings just coming and congregating together right now. And very soon here, unless SquidGunz has Hellbats ready to go, like right away, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, he does have Blue Flame upgrade. If these Hellions stay alive, it might be alright to deal off against a million Zerglings. I'm totally serious as well. These Hellions have got to stay alive right now. He's trying to run them away and lure the Ultralisk back to these siege tanks. And that's the game he's got to play right now. Cat and mouse inside of his base, and oh my god. Banelings. Well, I was going to say Zerglings, no problem, but Banelings, maybe not. I don't know. I don't think Hellbats are that well equipped to deal with green acid. They are pretty good against Zerglings, but not against Banelings, and that is a lot of Banelings. Wow. So Catz is about to reveal the final evolution of his Zerg tech. It's not Broodlords, it's not Ultralisks. It is thy Baneling, and Catz he's got a lot of them, man. He's got 154 Banelings, and that number will continue to grow. He's going for maximum Baneling right now. I don't know if SquidGunz, what unit do you make to deal with this many Banelings? Because honestly, if he doesn't deal with this many Banelings the right way, he's gonna lose his buildings. I guess he can't lift off because he's Jaren, so maybe he could just try to run away from the Banelings. I almost feel like you can't fight them head on. The Hellions can run away. Actually, you know, the air units aren't exposed either. He might be alright. I'm just trying to think hypothetically. The siege tanks, on the other hand, they're completely, absolutely boned. They're screwed. There's no way they can fend off 154 Banelings. The comsat comes down, and oh yeah, he sees it. And he doesn't even, the sad thing is he doesn't see all of it. He just sees like the bare edge, and it's like, whoa, dude. Hey, no peeking, says Catz. And now SquidGunz, I mean, he better be prepared for this because the Banelings are coming. Oh yeah, I forgot about the SCVs. They're totally screwed as well too. And Planetary Fortress #1 is down. SCVs, casualties of war, man. They're getting mixed in with the Banelings. And now Blue Flame upgrade, is it going to be enough? Those Banelings are pretty well clumped up. 3 more CCs dropping down. The Hellions are running away. They are so scared right now. Blue Flame Shot's actually doing a pretty good job. He needs to get another volley down. Very good. And the Banelings out, actually just going to go for another command center. Going to try to pick out some more SCVs. And oh, God. 4 command centers dropping in the flash of an eye. And now, you know what? Catz did spend all of his money. So the money is actually pretty close right now. Did that maneuver just end up maybe costing Catz the game? Because he just threw away like 7k in Banelings. You can see his resources loss tab is now ahead of the Terran player. Oh my god, Catz, sometimes the creativity just kills you. And right now it looks like the Terran army is moving out. He's got a lot of battlecruisers and Hellions, but there are a lot of Corruptors coming out right now. Units tab currently showing 13 Corruptors in the field, but I don't know if that's enough Corruptors to combat this many battlecruisers, which are max upgraded. The Corruptors are only at 2-2. Couple of Zerglings trying to come around the backside. If this ends up costing Catz again, this is going to be absolutely hilarious. He is mining out of almost every location possible, though. And you will note that because he's ahead by 50 or so workers right now, that means his army supply is actually down compared to the Terran army. SquidGunz moving out here. Gotta feel like he's got a chance at this game. And he's going to take out that, oh, that egg actually gets canceled. Very nice cancel right there from Catz. But SquidGunz right now has got to feel like, oh my god, he just did that, and I might have a chance of winning this. Oh, the Infestor's getting a fungal off. You'll see the projectile there moving out pretty quickly, coming out, dropping down the fungal bombs. Corruptor's coming out as well. The Battlecruiser's got to use Yamato, but they don't have Yamato upgraded. +3 weapons just now finishing for the Zerg Air. That's going to help so much, but the Corruptors are completely getting walloped right now by the PCs and the Vikings. And Catz, you're going to lose this game. Oh my god, Catz, I can't believe it. Infestor didn't get a fungal down. Blue Flame Hellions giving chase right now. Eggs getting spawned out to save the drones and keep them alive. You know what? I would like to see Catz right now make a bunch of spore crawlers, but he just spent all of his bank on Zerglings, Corruptors, and Infestors. I think that was one of those panic moments where he didn't know what to build. I definitely feel like if he just made some spore crawlers right now, this would help hold off this attack, but he is, of course, if you make spore crawlers, then you kind of say, well, I don't have no way to attack then, so can't win a game playing defensively. But SquidGunz has 3 BCs that are on an absolute rampage. 6 kills, 15 kills, 9 kills. In fact, there's another BC hidden here. 4 battlecruisers and a squadron of fighter jet Vikings to back them up as well. Catz is in so much trouble. I don't believe if he loses this game, I don't even know what to say. He's going to lose a lot of workers now, and this hatchery should go down, really making this game a lot closer than he needed to. A couple of Zerglings are preventing the possibility of these SCVs doing long-distance mining duties. Corruptor's being called back. He needs to regroup every Corruptor he's got on the field right now for one last attempt. These Infestors got to use a Fungal or something when they come out. He's lost so many just willy-nilly. Corruptor count right now at 6, Viking count at 13, and that really is the name of the game. Whoever has the most Air Forces on the field here is going to end up winning. Just by raw, battle versus battle, theoretical scenarios. If you don't have enough air units here, you are going to lose the game. Or anti-air defense. Now he does have, to back up these Corruptors, a very large army of Infestors, so that does kind of change the math a little bit. But will it be enough here for Catz, who really, he just spent like 10,000 on a bunch of Banelings, and he said, I'm going to lull my way through this game, but ended up maybe trolling himself to potentially losing right now. I don't know, guys. A lot of Burrowed Infestors coming in, though. Oh, man, this could be a hidden, devastating attack. Gonna but punch out a bunch of infested Terrans. Now, the Battlecruisers could just get out of here, but the, oh, beautiful play, though. Neural Parasite keeping the BCs in position so they cannot fly away. That was absolutely brilliant. Or he could have just used Fungal as well, but that was very, very smart. GG says SquidGunz because he knows, all right, that's it. I lost my entire Air Force. Very, very smart play right there. And Catz making it, well, a lot closer than it needed to be, but I guess at the end of the day, he felt more confident playing a small arms micro game than he did playing a massive battle scenario, and that's why I guess he threw away so many Banelings. But that was really smart. Infested Terrans, and then Neural Parasite the BCs, so that you force him to stay, and you force some of his forces against himself, and that was absolutely brilliant. Very nice job. Epic game. Hope you guys enjoyed this, guys. And of course, this is HD StarCraft. And for now, I am signing out.